The Vision High School Sports Beat is brought to you by the 11 locally owned Vision Automotive Group dealerships, offering Buick GMC, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Hyundai, Kia, and Nissan, and the resale division, with locations in Webster, Henrietta, Penfield, Fairport, Canandaigua, Ontario, and Palmyra, and online at visionauto.com.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Welcome to our 8th season of bringing you some of the great stories from Section 5 sports. And with the fall season underway, we'll begin with how one school kicks off the first moments of the season in style. It's Midnight Madness at Eastridge with the Lancers field hockey team. For some of these girls, this is a tradition that has been around longer than they have. 14 years ago, the field hockey team at Eastridge took to the field for their first practice at 12:01. On the first day, practice was allowed. An idea that Linda Adams, the coach at the time, had seen done on a bigger stage and wanted to try.
I kept reading about how Division I men's, although women started doing it too, NCAA, they would do a March Madness, Midnight Madness kind of thing to start their basketball season. So I always thought that would be a cool thing to do. And as I got near the end of my career, I said to the athletic director, I always had this idea, I wondered if I could try it before I end up not coaching anymore. And so we did that, and it worked.
Originally, her idea was to use the event as a fundraiser for the program, but plans change, sometimes for the better.
Our church youth group had something where you could buy stock to help the youth group go on a mission trip. And so we sent out something to the field hockey alumni asking whether or not they would buy stock. And if you did a certain amount of stock, you got to play. Because there were girls that said, I want to play one more time. These were alumni. I just want to play one more time, and they would love to play under the lights. So we had lights over there by the expressway. And so that was kind of what prompted it also. What ended up happening, people did send in money for shares, but nobody wanted to play because I think they were afraid they hadn't played in a long time.
Of course, doing something like this can't happen without a lot of other people getting on board. And at first, that was not a guarantee.
I thought it was a great idea. My worry was how was I going to explain it to the district and see if I was going to be able to do it. Linda, I guess, wanted to do this for a long time prior to me, and for whatever reason, they just couldn't get it to work out. So I went to the district to talk to them about it, and I told them, I'll make sure, everything's all set. And it was a great first year, and we've been doing it ever since.
Love you guys. Ready, guys? Let's put our hands in. Let's put our hands in. 1, 2, 3,
As you can see, the focus of this night isn't really on the field hockey. It's more about the players getting together, becoming a team, and being a part of something very special. For the current coach, it's also a great recruiting tool.
They have such a sense of camaraderie about this. They start talking about it. They'll start talking about next year's actually tomorrow, okay, when we have practice. And they just get excited about it. It's a great thing that when we do a lot of outreach with the younger kids, with elementary school and middle school kids, and these guys will talk all about it. They'll show them videos from Midnight Madness, and it's something that people seem to latch onto and they get really excited about before they're even at the high school. So I just love that, and I love that it's on our kids' minds all year long just to start the season this way. So for kids that haven't played the sport before, it gives a very fun entry into the game, because they really are thinking about getting along with their teammates and becoming friends first, because they put together these elaborate costumes and sort of themes for things. And so they actually it's a way for them to become friends and familiar with each other before they even have to get out on the field and play together. And I think that's awesome.
For the current players, being a part of something that is so unique gives them a feeling that is like no other.
The team bonding. I mean, I have the friends that I have now because of field hockey. If it wasn't for these big group bonding things like Midnight Madness, I mean, I could have had a totally different friend group and upbringing in high school, and I couldn't have wished for something better.
It's such a tradition for this program. Is it kind of nice to be a part of something that's been around for 14 years now?
Yeah, because I get to hear the stories from Coach and how Coach Adams was her coach, and it's like, I don't know, I just feel like we're something big, like a big family that's just been going on and on for generations.
Tonight is actually very bittersweet because I love Midnight Madness because our class just always went all out, like right from the get-go. And it was just like being able to dress up in like crazy colors and get interesting costumes with like tutus and like tie-dyed shirts. It's really fun. Also, it's like you don't naturally see people out here at midnight, so kind of having this being like just a field hockey thing is kind of fun.
When Fisher first took over the program, the thought of holding a midnight practice had her scratching her head. But after 6 years of doing it, she knows how special it really is. When you took over the program, did it ever cross your mind to not do this?
Yes, it did. Yes, I actually asked them, why do we do this? Because I thought it sounded a little out there, you know. But honestly, that first group of kids that was 6 years ago that I started coaching said, the magic is in the midnight. You just have to go and you have to feel it, and then you'll understand it. And I have to say that I do understand it now. And but before I did it the first time, no, I did not. I wasn't really looking forward to coming here at midnight. But now I get it, and I'm good with it.
Yeah. 6 in, ladies. 6 in. 1, 2, 3, Lancers! Thank you, Mr. Crocetti!
Okay. Oh, sorry.
The Lancers opened the season with a tough loss to rival Irondequoit, 2-0. Coming up, Paul Gotham from PickingSplinters.com joins us for the Dunkin Donuts High School Notebook. We'll have that next when the Vision High School Sports Beat returns.
I love you. I can't stop thinking about you.
This feels so real.
Sappy for maple? Then you'll love Dunkin's Belgian waffle sandwich and our other mapley and pumpkin-y flavors.
I can't wait to see you. Excuse me. I'm getting yelled at.
Welcome back. It is time now for the High School Notebook brought to you by Dunkin Donuts. America runs on Dunkin. As always, we are joined by Paul Gotham from PickingSplinters.com. Paul, welcome back once again.
Great to be here. It seems like just yesterday we were ending the spring season.
We were talking baseball, now we're talking fall sports and starting off with some soccer.
And it's interesting, when we were talking baseball, we were talking about weather cancellations because of the cold, and now we're worrying about heat advisories with our games.
So Paul, what can we look at on PickingSplinters.com this week?
Well, certainly going to continue with our boys soccer coverage, but we are adding football coverage. Paul Liotti taking the lead with that for us and doing a great job of it, so you'll see plenty of that. We'll have coverage from the Monroe East football game, but certainly we're looking forward to pushing through here in the fall season.
Talk about soccer right now. Obviously, they start a little earlier than the football teams do. So talk about some of the highlights from the early action on the pitch.
Well, it's crazy to think that before Labor Day, we have teams with a 3-0 record. But Webster Schrader jumping out. Schrader has already won more games this year in the first week than they did all last year. So that's going to be good to see them. Colin Murkey, senior midfielder, kind of controls things there for Dave Urbanski's club. Looking forward to them doing pretty well over the course of the year. A name to know, a new name in Section 5 soccer, Nicholas Rui, who is at Pittsford Sutherland. He played club ball in Spain last year for, hopefully I'll get this right, Deportivo Valdetores. I'm glad I don't have to say that fast 3 times.
Muy bueno.
Right away, he scores 4 goals for Sean Hopkins' club. That club, the Knights, went to the semifinals of the state, as we all know, last year. The big concern for them was replacing the scoring of John Maseral. I think they've done it. And when you've got Nicholas Rui lining up with Dylan Kladstrup in the front line, it's going to make for a powerful group there.
Let's talk football now for a little bit. And obviously, the number 7 is big in Section 5 right now.
Should we get some sort of advertising for that? Because it is going to be the 7 McGee moment.
I think so.
3 touches, 3 touchdowns. and one of those was on the other side of the field, and so it's not like he's punching it in from 1 yard out. A tremendous talent. It'll be great to see him playing against Monroe when Monroe opens up their new field there. And speaking of Monroe, Devontae Pee-wee Mateo getting the 3 defensive touchdowns in their opening weekend win at Cardinal O'Hara. Great to see the Red Jackets, Jason Muhammad, out and getting going there.
And a team getting off to a really fast start was Newark, I believe it was?
Newark did pretty well. Michael McGavis' group ran up the score there pretty well, and they'll certainly be doing well in Class B.
So already football, soccer, everything going on, everything going crazy. It's going to be a great fall. It's going to be another great season here in Section 5.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we always are. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. As always, Paul Gotham from PickandSplinters.com. This has been the Dunkin Donuts High School Notebook. We'll be back with more of the Vision High School Sports Beat in just a minute. And later on, a soccer power from Section 5 looks towards a #1 matchup. We've got that and more when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues.
Welcome back to the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Kim Burnson.
Our Making the Grade honoree this week is Webster Thomas's Micah McDonald. Not only is Micah an all-Greater Rochester First-Team Player of the Year, but she's proven that she's cool under pressure, too. Her golf game has taken her to different levels of the sport now as a senior in high school. Last year, she had the best scoring average in Section 5 with 2.8 strokes over par per 9 holes, and she won her first Monroe County Tournament of Champions in a playoff situation with a birdie putt to seal the deal. She also helped Webster's golf team earn a Section 5 championship last season. Micah qualified for the Girls Junior PGA Championship in Missouri and is one of the youngest to get an invite to the Women's Porter Cup. Her dedication to her work also carries over into the classroom, where her grades have earned her a spot in the National Honor Society. She's also a member of the varsity bowling team and Rotary Club member. This week, Micah McDonald is making the grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. You can send them in to info@classywolf.com. And now here's Dave with the McArdles Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kim. Here are some of the athletes, teams, and coaches making news in this week's Section 5 Spotlight. Brought to you by McArdles in Fairport. Come home to McArdles. Canandaigua grad Riley Passan broke the course record at the SUNY Poly Short Course Invitational, and she did it in dramatic fashion, besting the old mark by 34.5 seconds. Riley is in her first year with the William Smith Herons. Another Section 5 alum, Churchville Chile's Peyton Gleason, also kicked off his collegiate career with a big race, finishing in the top 5 as a freshman at the Brooks Memphis Classic. Peyton is one of several first-year runners for the University of Memphis. The Newark Reds football team got out of the gate early and often in beating Midlakes 44-0 to open up the season. They led 20-0 at the end of the first, and by halftime were up by 41. And finally, HFL's Anthony Noto had a busy summer. The standout wrestler earned All-American honors with a 5th-place finish at the 2018 U.S. Marine Corps Junior National Championships in Fargo, North Dakota. Anthony enters the season as the 12th-ranked 113-pounder in the country. And now a look at the Varsity Media top football plays of the week. We are going to start off at number 5, a new turf field for the Brockport Blue Devils, and Ryan DePasquale making an impression on it early on against Arcadia, bouncing off some tackles and getting to the outside. He's going to take the kickoff return 92 yards against the Titans, but it wasn't enough. The Blue Devils fall in their season opener. At number 4, it's Honeoye Falls Lima quarterback Turner Wilson hooking up with Derek Childs, taking on East Syracuse Manoa at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. HFL touchdown. What a grab in the corner right there for the Cougars. At number 3, Victor's Rushawn Baker taking on Pittsburgh, and the Blue Devils back is going to do it all by himself, going 90 yards. Victor wins it over Pittsburgh 16-0 at St. John Fisher.
Pittsburgh's offensive line opens up at the goal for number 23.
And number 2 from week number 1 of Section 5 football, Irondequoit taking on crosstown rival Eastridge. And the Eagles' Freddie June on 4th and 1 takes it 34 yards to wrap up the West Irondequoit victory over Eastridge. And at number 1, it's sophomore transfer Seven McGee for East High School. Not a bad way to start your Section 5 career. Talk about a great percentage. 3 touches, 3 touchdowns, and East High goes on to a win in their season opener. Up next, the Greece Athena boys prepare for a soccer bout with the best in the nation. We'll have that story when the Vision High School Sports Beat continues.
Came now to Eichel. He floated one.
Welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the Vision High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. This segment of the Vision High School Sports Beat is brought to you by the Injury-Free Coalition and our friends at Leo's Bakery and Deli.
The Injury-Free Coalition for Kids of Rochester and the Smart Teen Driving Program encourages teens to pay attention, not get distracted, and to drive safely.
This message from your friends at Leo's Bakery and Deli.
National rankings in high school sports, something of a mixed bag, like comparing apples and oranges. It's hard to know where your program ranks compared to others without actually playing against them. The Greece Athena Trojans decided to make a challenge to play against the #1 team in the country, and our Paul Gotham was along for the ride, all the way to New Jersey.
Burns in the middle of that. Okay, the rest, you come right here, Brian. You gotta get another color on. You gotta get another color.
Can't wear red.
Wait, do we got?
Let's go, Sox. Come on, buddy.
Tommy, I don't know if we got enough guys out here.
With a spot to fill in his schedule, Mike Butler looked to combine a team-building trip with an opponent that could challenge his Greece Athena Trojans. The fifth-year coach found exactly what he wanted.
Well, you know, it was the end of the year, and I was thinking, hey, we're going to be good next year, and wouldn't it be fun to take a trip? And I just said to myself, I wonder who the #1 team in the nation is, and I Googled it, and there they were, and I found out it'd been a really storied program, and they'd been the #1 team 11 times, so it was, you know, I called the guy, he said, hey, let's do it, and so it worked out well.
That storied program is St. Benedict's, a prep school in Newark, New Jersey. Ranked #1 in the preseason polls by Top Drawer Soccer and USA Today High School Sports, the list of players to wear St. Benedict's threads includes former men's national team captain Claudio Reyna, as well as Tab Ramos, and Columbus Crew head coach Greg Berhalter.
I think most of the team was excited for the most part. It gives us a good opportunity to go face, if not the best, one of the best teams in the country. So starting off the season on a good note, hopefully.
What was your first reaction when you heard what Coach had to say about that?
I couldn't believe it, to be fair, because I know going down there they're going to be that high level of qualities. And with the team we got this year, I think it'll be a good game.
With school still not in session, Athena left the day before the game to spend the night taking in the sights of New York City.
You know, they're excited, I think, for the season in general, and they're really kids that love soccer and they're into it. And you know, they'll go on YouTube and look the team up and see different things. So I think they're excited just for the trip in general. They know how much fun we're going to have going to New York City and all those things. We're going to have a great time. So regardless of what we take away from it, that's, I think, an important part of being on a high school soccer team.
The Trojans stayed across the street from the famous Madison Square Garden. Enjoyed dinner at Tony DiNapoli's, and spent the evening on Times Square. The date of the originally scheduled match saw a statewide heat advisory in New Jersey, which forced the postponement of the contest. The game is being rescheduled for later this month. Trojans now will get a chance to play against their league before taking on St. Benedict's.
So win, lose, you know, or draw, whatever happens, we're going to gain some experience from it, and hopefully it'll give us some confidence as we come back and look to play other teams. And I think it shows is just we know we can do it because we know how good Section 5 soccer is, so we think we'll be fine.
Well, obviously it came off that coach has a lot of confidence in us this year, and I also do as well because the quality we have is this is going to be one of our best years within the last 5 years. So I'm excited.
Like facing #1 team in the nation, it's like a big deal. But I think we have like the quality to really learn something from that game, and hopefully we take as much as possible away from the game so we could use it for a season.
From Times Square for the Vision High School Sports Beat, this is Paul Gotham.
The disappointment of having the game with St. Benedict's postponed was compounded when Athena lost its season opener to Fairport 1-0. Well, we'd like to thank our sponsors, especially the 11 dealerships in the Vision Automotive Group. They make the Sports Beat possible. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week with the Vision High School Sports Beat.